Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I have here a ton of news developments. I couldn't fit them all in this video. I would probably make two more. I have at least 30 topics that I would like to discuss with you and share with you because you must know these developments. You got to learn about them. I picked about 10 for this video, and they are very, very important. I don't make videos just on flimsy article or topics anyway. That's my assessment of my work anyway, or at least my attempt. But let me go through the titles of the topics that I'm going to cover in this video, and they're unbelievably important. And as I said, I got at least 20 more for the next videos today. The first topic, Ukraine war. The Russians attacked again massive missile and drone and missile attack on Ukraine on the 20th and the 21st of October 2024. They again launched about 100 and some air targets, as the Ukrainians call them, towards Ukraine. We're going to find out from where and what targets were attacked. Then we have another one where we have the Russians Ministry of Defense statements, reports of what they say they hit. Then we find out that the Russians attacked Kyiv massively. Then Chasiv Yar. Chasiv Yar, the Russian troops break through Ukrainian defense lines. Now that's a major development in Ukraine and on the front. I got that coming from the Ukrainians. Now, the Russians use a large amount of infantry, that's people who are, hoorah, let's go, to storm Selydove. Selydove, that's another one, towards Pokrovsk. And again, we have a major Russian armor attack on Kupyansk. So all these are Kupyansk and Kharkov, however you want to call it, Oblast. The other two were located in Donetsk Oblast. And yesterday I covered something with the Dnieper River Delta, which is in south, and it's in Kherson Oblast, where the Russians claim they took control over all the islands in the Delta. Now that's another major development. Next, let's see, what do we have here? Trump claims that he threatened Putin with striking Moscow. And we have Donald Trump's statements, and we have Putin's answer. Now, we're going to discuss who's one and who's the other one. If you think this conversation really occurred the way Donald Trump claims it occurred. Remember, one was a KGB spy, the other one is a building entrepreneur, all right? Life experience with whom? And he claims he threatened Putin, and Putin just was so scared he just went in the basement and he locked himself over there with his girlfriends. All right, Moldova. Moldova is doing what Ukraine was supposed to do. And it's something so idiotic from many reasons that's happening in Moldova. Moldova held a referendum, which I agree with referendums as long as they're fair and open and you can verify. Anyone can verify that's the accuracy of the referendum. That's my minimum requirement of a referendum. So Moldova referendum supports European Union movement by narrow margin. So those guys are again 49%. I don't believe that whatsoever. I do not. And that's exactly what Ukrainians were supposed to do after the coup in 2014. Look what's happening to Ukraine right now. What do you think will happen to Moldova? That's one. And the other one, I don't think Moldova should be, in my assessment, an independent sovereign country as it is right now. I think it should go back where it was taken from. And it was taken from Romania. In 1940, remember, it was a ultimatum by the Georgian dictator Stalin, not Russian, Georgian. Important to know that. And the Romanians gave it to them. And after 1991, instead of coming back, it's like someone steals your car at a gunpoint, and then the guy is apprehended by the police, but your car somehow remains somewhere on the street waiting for being independent and sovereign. And that was your car. So this is another, that's why I say Moldova, and not only Moldova, parts of Ukraine that were again taken by Stalin for that ultimatum, now they're part of Ukraine. And Ukraine is great Ukraine. All right, that's another one. And we're going to find out what the Westerners are saying about this referendum and what the Russians are saying about it. Both sides claim interference. I think it was interference, but definitely the Western interference was more dominant. I would say 98% versus with 2% with the Russians. Well, and we have Sandu, the so-called president of Moldova, going for a runoff and her presidency. This referendum was also the election of a president. Well, Erdogan's enemy, supposedly, the cleric, the strong, the powerful cleric, Gulen, died in the United States of America. Remember, supposedly, this Gulen organized in 2016, if I remember correctly, a coup attempt in the democratic country, independent NATO member of Turkey. United States was like, I don't know, man, we don't know everything. Erdogan said, no, it was not necessary. This guy was supported by someone else. Remember the Bay of Pigs? All right. Supposedly Kennedy did not know about that. And when we found out about the Bay of Pigs, he was very upset. And then he found out about Israel's nuclear program. And then he got upset and he said, we got to check that out. And then Oswald stopped all that. And he wanted to turn into gold. Remember, he wanted, I think it was order 11110 or something like that. I think it was 4 ones and 1 0, where he wanted to switch into, I think he also issued some dollars backed by gold, but then he got assassinated, man. And all these three just disappeared, and it was just, we don't know what happened. All right, or we know Oswald did it. We find out what Lavrov thinks about the direction that this garbage in Ukraine is going, and I have to say that I studied this many times before, which is the proxy war between NATO and Russia turns into direct war. I think that's accurate. You gonna be asked to defend your countries, your families, your culture, your all this, that these guys all of a sudden will think that's important for you. Now they don't care about your family, they don't care about your nation, they don't care about your history, unless it's their history. And then they say, now you got to defend it. Now, for all your family, for your traditions, for your way of life that they want to destroy, they will say, now we go and defend it. Actually, defend their asses. And you're going to go to war. I can tell you that. We have BRICS summit in Kazan, in Russia. Is that Kazan? I think it's Kazan, right? And someone here confirms something I've been saying for some time, and that is, a new bloc is forming, emerging, which is, I think, 98% already fixed over there, put in place. And we have someone who says BRICS can counter Western sanctions. That was one of the reasons why BRICS, and not only emerges now as an alternative to Western, not hegemony, because they're not a hegemony, it's just spreading democracy and freedom and, capitalism, fair capitalism, not wild, crazy capitalism, and all that, you know. These guys are just sheltering their countries, their nations against these guys so they cannot impose sanctions. It's going to be two separate but equal, blocks on this planet. And I don't think it's going to be anybody left in the middle. It's going to be like the scramble for Africa. All those 5 countries, European countries, not all Europe, just about 5. They scrambled to grab whatever they could from Africa. The same is right now. There's these 2 poles, the United States, Al Capone's plantation, and the Club of the Very Good. They will scramble to get as many members here. With bribes, with promises, with threats, with regime change. That's what awaits for us. And in the meantime, they're going to fight a proxy war here, a proxy war here. A proxy war will start in Far East, and so on. In Israel over there, they are doing what they do best. And we find out that Israel gives the US its demands for ending war. So imagine a country of 10 million people, we're told, telling a country of 330 million people, United States of America, powerful, the strong, the buddy right here, the guy, the toughest guy in the parking lot, being told by ping, given a list of demands, and the demands to end war in Lebanon. They are such a, how do you call it, chutzpah. And in the demands, you can't believe what the Israeli want or they demand from the Americans. For the Americans, why not from the Russians? Why not from the Zimbabweans? They give the US not because US is in charge. No, US is the bully boy who keeps everybody at bay, still with his guns pointed at them. So these guys in the back can rob the bank. You know what I mean? If you don't know, you're in bad shape. All right, so that gets me to the beginning, and we'll start with the first article, which is, come on, baby doll, work with me. Here. All right, so Ukrainska Pravda. Ukrainian air defense destroys 59 Russian UAVs over Ukraine. 45 disappear from radar. Up to 10 remain in the air. That's more than 100 and what? More than 110. Let's gonna have them all here, right there. It is the evidence. And let's read how many were launched. And they say there were 119 Russian aerial assets. This is how many? So 120. And particularly sent Iskander M ballistic missile, 2 Kh-31P and Kh-35 air-to-surface missiles, and 116 UAVs. So 119, let's say 120, that was the attack. And these guys destroyed, they say 59, and then what, 45, they were disappeared. Disappeared at what? They reached the target, or why they disappear? And 10 remain in the air, probably undecided what to do. Should we continue, or we should just go back to mommy? Right, and he says here what oblast the Russians attacked. Odessa, Mykolaiv, Kherson, Vinnytsia, Khmelnytsky. Now Khmelnytsky, it's where as I always say, the F-16s are probably housed, because Khmelnytsky, one of the two, if I remember correctly, airfields that can fit the pretty F-16s that are very demanding. They need all kind of special treatment in order to take off and to land. You can make it up. Then we have Zhytomyr, Kyiv, Sumy, Kirovohrad, Cherkasy, Chernihiv, and Poltava Oblast. Everything but the western part of Ukraine, the Polish side, as I call it. Here's Ukraine. This is Khmelnytsky in here. This is how far these guys went. All these things were not hit. This is the Polish side. Why? Because Poland is here and they want this side. Romanians will not get their side, which is this right here. The Hungarians will not get their side, which is Zakarpattia. And the Russians will not get their side, which is this right here. So Ukraine will remain with, I don't know exactly with what. I mean, if we ask the Lithuanians, probably they want something like this as well. Remember, at one point, Poland and Lithuania had their Commonwealth, and the Polish Commonwealth, it was what, in the 17th, 18th century, it was this big. So it came this way, I think by Kyiv, and went down here to the Black Sea. So all this right here belonged to Poland and Lithuania. So, but hey, Ukraine fought hard for that. Oh wait, there was no Ukraine. All right, let's go back to the article. So, next article. Ukrinform. Ukraine Defense Forces have shot down 59 of the 116 drones that Russians have launched over Ukraine. So this is again the same information with Iskander. Now, where they launched from? So the missiles they launched from the Iskander, let's start with Iskander, were launched from the territory of temporarily occupied Crimea. So that is in the south, right here. Iskander was launched from here. Then we have the Kh-35 launched from the airspace of the Black Sea area. When they say that, that means something happened in the Black Sea, like a submarine or a ship, or maybe even but those are caliber cruise missiles, so probably from their warships from the Black Sea area. Then we have, again, another one from the Black Sea area, and 116 drones launched from Kursk, Orel, Primorsk-Akhtarsk. So Kursk, Primorsk-Akhtarsk is right here. Let's start with this one. It's right here across from the Sea of Azov, where my strong hand is. Right here, Primorsk-Akhtarsk, that's the location. Then we got Orel and Kursk, which are north of this. And right here, Oriol here, Kursk over here. So from the, let's say, far east, a little bit north here, and the south from the Primorsko-Akhtarsk. All right, next one. Let's see what the Russians say they did with this attack. According to Sputnik, 2 hours ago, today on the 21st of October, Russian forces decimate Ukrainian military airfields and drone production sites. You know what decimate was? Where it comes from? Wasn't that from the Romans at one point? I don't know if it was Trajan, Emperor Trajan. There was a mutiny, and then the forces that were engaged in this mutiny, the how do you call it, the legions, he said the 10th of every 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 palm, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 palm, every the 10th one was killed of the. So 1 in 10 of all those legions that participated in the whatever there's uprising military garbage was killed. That's, I think, comes from decimate. Every 10 palm, palm, palm. So that means if they have 100,000 people, 10,000 were dead, killed. As an example, next time another decimate. That's where decimate come from. All right, so they say they decimate Ukrainian military airfields and drone production sites. Airfields, plural. Now that is, as I said, Khmelnytsky. It's right here. I'm sure that's one of them. And the airfield is located somewhere in the north in this here area. Right here, right here probably. Right here actually, because you see this is the town, and then here you have it black, so you don't see, but that's where the airfield is. Right there, north of Khmelnytsky, a city of Khmelnytsky. All right, let's see what these guys are saying. Russian forces successfully hammered the infrastructure of the military airfields, plural, production facilities and storage sites for strike drones, as well as temporary deployment point for foreign mercenaries. They also struck concentrations of personnel and military equipment across 127 locations. So that means the Russians say, we actually launched 127 missiles and drones at least, because it's 127 locations. You can't use a missile on 2 points at the same time. So 127 locations, that means they launched at least 127. At least. This guy said, what, 119? Was that 119? The first article. Please. Yes, sir. I will do it for you. Anything. Right here. So 119, these guys claim actually it was at least 127. Russian forces have struck Ukrainian energy facilities that supported the operation of the Ukrainian armed forces. And I'm quoting, operational tactical aviation, strike drones, missile troops and artillery of the Russian armed forces have targeted Ukrainian energy facilities that supported the actions of the UAF. Ukrainian armed forces, the report said. All right. Furthermore, air defense systems shot down 3 US-made HIMARS rockets and 52 drones. In response to Ukrainian attacks on civilian targets, Russian forces regularly carry out precision strikes on personnel. The Russians rarely tell you this particular thing was hit. Now, I don't know if because they don't want to give you information, the other guys will report as they report. Maybe they're lying, maybe they're exaggerating, maybe that's reality, but they don't usually give you that information. You find it from the other side or from other sides. That's why you want to find out the truth. Look into as many angles, from as many angles as you can. You like the guy or you don't like the guy, listen and then verify. And then you're going to get closer to what actually happened. Remember that story with the elephant? So there were a bunch of people, they were, supposed to touch one part of the elephant, and they were the eyes were covered, and one touched the trunk, the other one touched the tusk, and the other one touched the leg, the other one touched the balls, the other one the tail or whatever, the belly, and each of them were supposed to tell how exactly is the animal elephant, and each person described his little part that he touched. And obviously there were just parts of the entire thing. So the same thing is with, and it's inaccurate. It is true, I'm not saying about lying, but it's your interpretation of what you feel about the trunk or the balls or the whatever you touch. So here, the same, you have to look as many, you put them together, and then you say, okay, it looks like this, it looks this, but if you don't touch different angles, different parts, most likely you're going to touch only the balls. Oh, it's something like, ooh, Talk, talk, talk. All right, so let's go to the next topic. This comes from New Voice of Ukraine. This is October 21st. Battle for Chasiv Yar. Russian troops break through Ukrainian defense lines. Let me show you where Chasiv Yar is. And that is in the Donetsk People Republic again, isn't it? Right here. Right here. This is across from Artemovsk. Remember Artemovsk? Bakhmut. So Chasiv Yar is right here. They broke through the Ukrainian defenses right there. So they're going to go here. These guys are going to come here. And who knows what. You see how these guys are advancing and going through? They can go then and they attack Konstantinovka through different, and these guys will be encircled. So this is what we're talking about. Now, in the big scheme of things, that's the way it looks in Donetsk. This is Pokrovsk, and this is the Chasiv Yar in this area. So let's see what these guys are saying. So this is according to Ukrainians. Now, why do you think looks like this thing? Is because the Russians are just evil, or because someone was defending this in this area? That's horrible. The war must be stopped, and in the first place should not have started. Russian troops have breached the defenses of Chasiv Yar in the Donetsk region and are likely advancing towards the city center, according to a report by Bild. And New Voice of Ukraine picked it and told us, vomited over us. On Monday, October 21st, citing the outlet's military analyst Julian Röpke claims that after several months of being unable to cross the Siversky Donetsk Canal, Chechen vanguard managed to force the canal on Friday, October 18, and advance 2.5 kilometers west along the southern outskirts of the city. The open source analyst suggests that Russian forces may now turn north and begin moving towards the center of the Chasiv Yar. So that's a fantastic, here is the river here. Let me see, I'm going to give you a different map. Here it is. So this is the river they were talking about right here, going from north to south, flowing from north to south right here. Clip, clop, clop, chip, chip, chip. So this is what these guys broke through and went 2.5 miles here. And they're going to go north towards the center of Bakhmut. Oh, I'm sorry, Jesus Christ, Chasiv Yar. Why Bakhmut? Because I have Bakhmut a little bit to the side. And this is right here. This is Bakhmut, Artemovsk. So again, another one. Fucking cooperate with me as always. But we're gonna make it. Don't worry. Right there. So this is Chasiv Yar. These guys cross the river and they're going over here. All right. Let's see what else these guys are saying. Not there. Not there. Not there. This is where we were with the Chasiv Yar. Next one. Russia hits Kyiv with drone attack for second night in a row. This is related to the first article. Ukrainian air defense destroyed, according to day 59 out of 119. The Russian says 120 something, right? 120, 130, 127 locations. That means 127 at least drones. All right, so where were we? So attacks for the second night in a row. Let's see what these guys did. Russia attacked Ukrainian capital Kyiv with several waves of drones for the second night in a row, damaging residential buildings, obviously, injuring at least one civilian, Ukrainian officials on Monday, and no military target. Why? Because these guys are criminal. So the Ukrainian military said air defense is down 59 out of 116 drones launched overnight. The military lost track of 45 drones that likely fell into Ukrainian territory. Another night, another worry. Well, why don't you stop that? And then 10 drones are just flying around. And damage, obviously they said they destroyed them with right here, more than houses, damages, consequences of the enemy attack Zaporozhye, not only, then you have Kryvyi Rih, and so on. So Kiev attacked by massive drone attack launched by the Russians. Next article. Battle for Chasiv Yar. Russian troops break through. So this is again, New Voice of Ukraine. Russians use large amount of infantry to storm Selydove. Ukraine's National Guard repels attack. Well, really. So remember, we went to Artemovsk and Chasiv Yar. Now we go to Selydove, which is east of Pokrovsk. Where is that located? So Chasiv Yar is this. We're going to go ram-pam-pam down here. This is Pokrovsk. The Russians call it Krasnoarmeysk. And here is Selidovo. This according to the Russians. Now, This the Russians don't update their shit. Look, I'm gonna try to refresh it because they're, I don't know, over the weekend I guess they still party, but they don't have it updated. Right, Selydove. They're still far away on this map, but let's look at the other map that is. No, we're not gonna make a deal with you. We're gonna go to the other one, and look what Selydove looks like right here. This is Selydove. Zoop, zoop. What do you think will happen next? And the river flows like that, from here to there. So these guys are cooked. Selydove. Where were we? And look at the map that the Ukrainians are providing. This is the map the Ukrainians are providing. This is the map the other guys are providing. And the Russians are garbage. Why? Right here. Didn't even close. All right, so let's see what these guys are saying. Over the past day, the Russian occupation forces lost. We don't care about that. The Russians are trying to actively carry out assault operations using a large number of infantry troops, in particular near the settlements of Selydove in Donetsk Oblast. Russian forces also periodically conduct mechanized assaults involving from 3 to 5 armored vehicles. I think the situation is bad. You should retreat. And this is not as bad, as I said, as this one. So I think they should just get the fuck out before they get encircled. But hey, Zelensky doesn't care. He has a good life. Major Russian armored attack repelled by Ukrainian forces near Kupyansk. This is again according to the New Voice of Ukraine, 3 hours ago on the 21st of October. So Kupyansk, we move, remember, so right now, all this was in Donetsk. So this is the Chasiv Yar in here, this, and then we have this Selydove here, and we go now to Kupyansk right here. This is Kupyansk, this is Kharkiv, Kharkov. And the Russians, I think, are advancing here. Again, this is not the updated, because these guys are slow, even though it says to 21st, right there. And these guys are saying, well, they tried to mechanize to attack us, but hey, we repel them. Let's look at the other map. This one that is a little bit more, I don't say concerning, but, like that. Yeah, okay, we're going to go to right here, I guess. Right here. All right, this is Kupyansk. So this is Kupyansk, and this is where the Russians are advancing. Why don't you want to cooperate with me, baby doll? Today you're a bitch. All right. All right, here it is. This is the story of Kupyansk, and according to this article, which is Selydove, not that, in Kupyansk. And the Russians are slow. All right, let's see what these guys are saying. Where are you? So this is the Kupyansk thing, right? Right. The Russian forces frequently launch attack on Kupyansk direction, trying to establish positions on the left bank of the Oskil River. Oskil River. Let's go to this one right here. Oskil River is right here. They're trying to cross over and then go like that, but look at these guys are traveling towards west. About a week and a half ago, the enemy launched one of the largest armored offensive I've seen. 50 pieces of equipment, tanks, APCs, BMPs, plus they brought a high mobility vehicles. They brought in highly mobility vehicles like motorcycles, buggies, and cars they took from civilians. Yeah, okay, there because they're assholes, or marked with the distinctive insignia, the Z, from Zorro. The enemy concentrated all the equipment and manpower in a narrow area over a short period, but they failed to achieve any results. Our defense forces managed to crush the enemy. The Achilles battalion alone destroyed 20 units of armored and lightly armored vehicles, and another 20 were damaged. All right, I will keep you updated on Kupyansk, because I think the front will take a shit soon. But these guys are still saying no. And that gets me to another topic. Ukrainska Pravda. Trump says he threatened Putin with strike on Moscow over possible invasion of Ukraine. Do you think he did that? And if, let's say he did, what do you think Putin's answer was? Oh, don't do it, Donald. I'm going to wear the red panties for you tonight, but just don't do it. Do you think that's the way Putin was? Now, let's put it this way. Trump had to do with civilians. his life was with civilian sharks, like New York bankers, to put it mildly, if you know what I mean. Okay, so he had in that, but I don't think he was in a position where his life was like he could be bombed or he can be assassinated by the big mobsters of Moscow, and not only with people with billions that would like to take care of Putin. So I think Putin lives and lived a much, much, much more dangerous life than Trump lived. Therefore, I think he's used to threats and actions of assassinations against him more than Trump. Oh yeah, he got grazed, bad, right? The guy over there in the golf course again. But this happened to this guy now when he's 78 or something. The other guy was like under this for at least 40 years in his life. So I think one of them is much, or I should say directly, he's a seasoned guy. The other one is not even a seasoned, right? It doesn't happen. You don't change your life at 78. Oh, right now I become tougher. My balls are. So I don't think Trump. If Trump tried to threaten Putin, the bad Putin that we told about, right? Working as a spy, by the way, somewhere else where you can be taken up and just interrogated and maybe killed for reality. Even if they say, well, he was a low ranking, you were a spy, you were a guy undercover somewhere else. What do you want? Trump was not. So again, remember when it was JFK, the Kennedy, the guy who wanted to do this and that, and then they did it to him. Remember, and then you got Khrushchev, Nikita Khrushchev, the half Ukrainian, half Russian, I think he was, Soviet leader. Remember when they met in Vienna? Now, when they met in Vienna, Khrushchev was about, 60 year of age. He was deployed in Stalingrad. You remember Stalingrad? So he was in the war. The other guy, yeah, he was in the war. He was the and then he was a correspondent. He even said things about the Adolf. I'm talking about JFK. Go and read when he was a correspondent. I can't remember for what kind of media outlet. American. He wrote some about Herr Adolf. Not good. Even after he went to the Berghof, I'm talking about this guy, JFK. He visited Berghof, bombarded, and he said some words and zip it. Don't say anything about the bad guy. Remember, what's his name? Tony Montana. Yeah. Say good night to the bad guy. The same here. Yes. Don't say anything good about the bad guy. Why? Because it's all bad and all good. That's the way life is. Didn't you figure that out yet? At work, it's only good and evil. Or in life, it's clear cut. This is when we are children. When you're children, that's how you see the world. But some people prolong the childhood until they die. 70, 80. So you think he threatened him? And if he really threatened him, I'm guaranteed that Putin did not say what Trump said that Putin said. Why? Putin is not going to come and say, no, that's not true, Donald. Why? Read or listen to Putin's statements versus the American show business kind of diplomacy. These guys are all show business. They talk loudly, they take their feathers out, they dance a little bit, they, ramble their feathers, and then the public is like, ooh, yeah, I'm all wet, yeah. All right, that's the American political system. The Russians are different. And then you die, all right? No, it's just in Russia. So let's see what Trump said. Trump says he threatened Putin. All right. US president candidate has said that he threatened Vladimir Putin with a strike on Moscow if he invaded Ukraine. I heard Donald Trump making the claim that he would hit Putin hard, but never that he would strike Moscow. And I guarantee you, Putin would have said, well, I will do the same thing to you, even worse. Fuck off. And I will take your child as well, one of them. Anyway, Trump once again reiterated that he had a great relationship with Kremlin ruler Vladimir Putin and got along with him very well. And I'm quoting, I said, Vladimir, if you go after Ukraine, I'm going to hit you so hard, you're not even going to believe it. I heard this before. I'm going to hit you right in the middle of freaking Moscow. That's new. I don't think he even dared to say that, but nevertheless. Donald said, without specifying under what circumstances and when he and Putin had this conversation. I said, we're friends. Oops. I don't want to do it, but I have no choice. And guess what Putin said? According to Trump, not with Putin, Putin replied, no way. Trump responded, way. And what did he do? I said, you're going to be hit so hard, I'm going to take those fucking domes right off your head, because you know he lives under the domes, Trump added. This is not Hollywood. This is not Hollywood. I don't have doubts that leaders might talk like that to one another. After all, remember when Sarkozy met Putin? Where was that? Somewhere in Europe. They met in Vienna, was it? In Paris? They met. It was not only between all the two. It was like a summit or something. I don't know, when Sarkozy was around. Half Jewish Sarkozy, just with his Bruni, whatever, Carla Bruni. Okay, so what a coincidence, man. Half Jewish Sarkozy, Hungarian. He's Hungarian born, or Hungarian something, like Soros, the philanthropist, hedge fund, or whatever, investor, Hungarian born Soros. And he was 100% Havana Gila, whatever. So let's move on. So what do we have here? So I don't have doubts that is. So going to Sarkozy and Putin. When Sarkozy came and people, they thought he was drunk. And his translator, because it was Putin, Sarkozy, then the translators, nobody else around. And Sarkozy's translator came out after about 7 years and talked about when Sarkozy came at the press conference and he was like drunk. I said, well, is Sarkozy drunk? You can still find the article. Fine. What happened then? He had a conversation with Putin, and Putin told certain things to him according to the translator, who said it after I don't know how many years, 12, 15, 13 years, I can't remember. Something like that. Maybe not that far, but it was. It was. And he said it like this, that Putin told Sarkozy, I can't remember his first name, Sarkozy's, they talk like this, Vladimir and whatever Sarkozy's. That doesn't really matter. And let's call him Solomon. Solomon Sarkozy said, hey, Solomon. Now, France is like this. Russia is like this. Now, I can make you, are the words made. You can find a video maybe on YouTube. Yeah, I can make out of you a big leader, or I can destroy you. It's your chance, Solomon. And Solomon pissed and pooped his pants, and then he went in front of the... Go and watch. He's still there. You can watch both interviews. Both interviews of this, the translator, and Sarkozy, Solomon Sarkozy. So I don't think... So they talk like that. So I don't think that... First, I don't think that Putin said more than that. It's possible that he said, no way, like, oh, man, you make me laugh. Remember that video when this guy said, hey, the American missile systems in Poland and Romania are aimed at Iran. Why are you so upset? And this guy starts laughing and said, you make me laugh. It's late at night and I'm going to go to sleep in a good mood. And those are aimed at Iran, aimed towards us. So the same. This is one. And the other one from Russia Today. Let's see what they think about this. Trump claims he threatened Putin with strike on Moscow. The former US president says he warned the Russian leader not to go after Ukraine. And he didn't go after Ukraine while he was over there. So in office. So Trump claims that as long as I was in office, because I threatened Putin, he didn't dare to attack me because I'm so tough, man, with big fucking balls. I come from New York City and I'm going to fuck everybody else with my buddies, my friends. I'm going to dance hora, right? Exactly that. And you can't say, no, it's not because of that. You can say, yeah, that's a resultant. Putin did not invade because Trump was in the office. That's the claim Trump makes. The only claim that he can make is like this. Under my presidency, we didn't invade shit yet. But we still had troops in Syria illegally. So what are you talking about? That's the only thing he can claim. The rest, that he didn't because I told him so, he was afraid of me, that's your interpretation. And we're probably never going to know, because Putin doesn't come out and says, yeah, man, this guy is a bitch or something. No. Sometimes he says, like he said about Hillary Clinton, remember? Yeah, when she said something that he has no eyes, he has no soul, and I looked at that was whatever. The other one, I think it was, he has no soul. Republican President candidate Donald Trump has claimed that he threatened to strike Moscow if Russian President Vladimir Putin launched an attack on Ukraine. And again, Trump plays the guy that Trump said he would not have to, as his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping respects me and he knows I'm fucking crazy. Really? Yeah, you're going to be indicted and convicted soon. And this is how fucking crazy you are. You appointed Kushner as your son-in-law. You appointed John Bolton. You had that Pregus, whatever, the first White House chief of staff. You had Mark Milley. You appointed all these imbeciles, and you tell me that you're such fucking crazy, and you fired them, and you hired, and you fired, and they were not your people. But probably you survived alive as a president. That's what I give Trump. He survived to all these moves, and many other people that this guy appointed, and they were all weasels, moles, and traitors to his presidency, I think. And he tells me that I told Xi Jinping, and Xi Jinping sits on I don't know how many hundreds of nuclear weapons and the second biggest economy on this planet, that loans money, gives money, invests in the United States of America. If China gets his money out, we're fucked. And I threatened Xi Jinping. And you have Bolton in your fucking administration? What are you talking about? Yeah, they know I'm fucking crazy. Yeah, I want to see how crazy you are right now. Oh, I'm going to do this when I come into office, Trump says. Really? Why didn't you do it the first time? You had 4 years. Why didn't you shit then? Look how many executive orders Biden wrote and Obama wrote. How many did you? Okay. And I'm going to do this in the first day. No, you had your first day 8 years ago, so screw you. Let's put it this way. So these things, yeah, he has to say certain things to survive. Why? The Secret Service. Who do you think the Secret Service listens to? Trump? He listens to an earpiece right here that tells him that, suspect number one, which is, let's say, Trump, needs to be taken to a secure location now. Do you think this guy's going to say, sir, with all due respect, can you provide me the evidence that it is accurate and I need to do that? No, it's going to be like, zoop, pop, grab the guy and get him to a secure location. Over there, he's going to meet Alexander, the Tsar of Russia. Remember? Killed by whom? Killed by whom? All right, let's move on. Pivoting to Russia, Trump said the same is true of Putin, who he claimed to have an excellent relationship. Vladimir, if you go after Ukraine, I'm going to hit you so hard, you're not even going to believe it. I'm going to hit you right in the middle of your freaking Moscow. We're friends. I don't want to do it. I have no choice. Putin reacted with disbelief, saying, no way, Trump reported. You're going to be hit so hard, and I'm going to take those fucking domes right off your head. Oh my God, do you believe this? If you watch a lot of Hollywood movies, you're going to believe this. I don't. I give this, is it possible? It is possible that this is what Trump said, but he's not saying more. So remember, if you, in a conversation, this is what his answer was, no way. I'm going to smack you. But if you say, no, he said, no way. And I said, wait, you're not going to tell what Putin said after that. I'm going to grab you by the balls whenever I want, Trump. I know you got balls. I'm going to snip them with a big freaking, because they're a big clump, just like that. But Trump is not going to say that because he knows Putin is not going to get tangled in this Hollywood business-like, show business-like political system that we fucking have in this country. This is not serious. This is, Jesus Christ, the greatest country in the world. Yeah. All right, let's see what happens in the so-called country of Moldova. Moldova's referendum supports EU movement by narrow margin. So what's going on over here? The Moldovan Central Election Commission. So you see, you always have a Central Election Commission that all the information, all the data comes to, and then come and tell you, they report to you that 99.46% of the votes counted citizens of Moldova has expressed a positive response in the constitutional referendum on EU membership. So they say, we're going to make this is, why do you need to do this? They say, we're going to ask the people if we want in the constitution written that we're going to be part of the European Union. What is this? And tomorrow I'm going to say, we're going to make a referendum if we want to buy guns from Raytheon. Is this? I mean, I'm for a referenda, more than one. But like this? So they want to put in the constitution that we're going to be with the European Union. So let's say tomorrow something changes with the European Union. Let's say it becomes a dictatorship, which is not. Okay? Then what are you going to do? Change the constitution again? I mean, I've never seen this before. I personally, maybe I'm ignorant. I didn't read every country's constitution, but I've never seen in any constitution stating in the constitution that we are going to be, want to be European, belong to European Union. In the constitution, you know what constitution is? The law of the land. The law of the land. What does that have to do with the freaking we're gonna be in European Union? How can you make it illegal not to be European Union? Belong to the European Union? What's the European Union? It's just an Lebensraum. Lebensraum, read about it, a little bit different, by the United States of America. That's what it is. Not United States of America, by the businesses in charge of these guys. They just get territories and they get these baboons to work for them. And they're protected by us, so nobody can come and take you away and make you their little modern economic slaves. But you're going to be my economic slaves. This is what it is. You are under my protection, like in a neighborhood. You work for me, and I protect you. I'm going to give you some things like food, something that smells like food, looks like food, tastes like food, but I don't think it's food. You're going to be a fat prisoner in a cage. That's what are these guys in the European Union. You're going to be fatter, you're going to watch more TV, you're going to get fat, you're going to work with your masks on and with your boosters up to date. You're going to do that and take your naps and watch TV, Hollywood, a lot of Hollywood, all right, and Baboon's View and other imbeciles over there, Scarborough's and... Okay, but you're going to be fat. You're going to eat a lot. A lot of things are going to get through your mouth. It doesn't mean that's food. Could be but and through your ass as well. And you're going to live a decent, how do you call it, protected life. You have no worries. And then when you die and you go and meet Jesus or whomever you meet, you're going to say, hey, what did you do with your life? Man, I ate so good and it was good. You didn't do shit. You didn't do shit. You just went through life. You survived. That's your life. Who was that? Plato or Aristotle who said, it's not only, so you don't have to value life in general. You have to value good life. Please, my friends, go and read about what a good life is. It's not about eating and fucking and drinking and getting fat and then dying. That's not a good life. That's not. It's like a car that put gas in it. That's something that, let's say, keeps the car going wherever the pilot, the driver, takes the car to. But you decide if it's going to be a good trip to Traverse City or Glen Arbor or wherever you're going to go, or it's going to be something in a piece of shit trailer park or something like that, or who knows where, in a garbage. But gas, it's the food. Gas that's the basic. The rest is the good life. Gas is just life. All right, so this guy said that, well, we did it. I don't think that was supposed to happen anyway. Let's move to the next article. Moldova's pro-EU camp narrowly wins referendum. And this is Sandu. All right. So can you believe that slim majority of 50.09% said yes? Do you believe that? I do not believe statistically that is the accurate number. What a wonderful world. All right. I don't think that's accurate. But these guys are making you so you get involved in the politics. You support the scheme, the matrix, by going and voting. We were close, man. We're close. If they would have said, let's say, 80-20, that was rigged. But like this, no, it was close, man. Even if that's true, that's bad. That means 1 in 2 don't want to go towards west, and 1 in 2 want to go to the east. Or not even, one is just, you want to go or no? I don't want, I want. It's 1 and 1. So it's easy to maneuver these guys. All right. Moldova votes for President EU path amid Russians' interference allegations. You know who interfered over there? The West 100%. They gave millions of dollars over there. They even banned the other parties over there. They arrested people traveling towards Russia, going through Chisinau airport. Go and read those things. I think Russia has access in Moldova, but the West doesn't. I mean, this is for baboons. I don't think that's true. I think that's a lie, or maybe an exaggeration, or great exaggeration. Moldova votes on President EU hopes amid Moscow meddling claims, but the West did not meddle. No. Kremlin says Moldova's elections were not free and results raise many questions. I agree but they were free. You could participate. All right, but I don't think they were counted, who sponsored them. Let's go to this guy who, according to some, tried to overthrow Erdogan's government in 2016, I think he was. Intelligence services confirmed death of preacher Gulen, Turkish foreign minister. This guy. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I don't think a guy over here in the United States of America. With some, they are going to do that. It's possible, but not probable. I think the United States of America helped a lot. And Erdogan knows that. Remember, there were some stories that Erdogan escaped or was protected by some Russian troops over there. I don't know if that's true or not. Some Spetsnaz, special troops. Ankara, Turkish intelligence organizations confirmed the death of preacher Fethullah Gulen, the head of the FETO organization, designated terrorist by the Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan said on Monday. So, if Turkey designated this organization a terrorist organization, and this guy obviously was the head of this organization, by definition he's a terrorist according to the law, with the law of the country Turkey, so that means Turkey was entitled to strike with missiles wherever Gulen was in the United States of America, like the Americans do wherever they want, because they designated terrorists left and right. They tell us, if I can do that, then why can't you do that? So that means maybe your designation is not right, but only those people's designations are not right, but ours are always right. Think about it. That's why, and people see this. Maybe the Americans don't see this and they believe in, oh my God, we are the good. Yeah, but if you see, in order to be just is something that you apply across the board in the same circumstance over there, regardless who you are, regarding the persons over there. Now you can do these kind of things. I designate you as this, boom. Designate you this, boom. Designate you this, wherever you are. But you can't strike back. And when they strike back, I say, they hate our freedoms. And these guys, some of them are just, yeah, man, they hate our freedoms. All right. Our intelligence organizations confirm his death. Natural cause death or what? Fidan told the press conference. Earlier in the day, media reported that Gulen, who was accused of attempting a coup in 2016, has died in the United States of America. Now, the Turkish government accused Gulen of being responsible for a coup attempt in 2016, and they didn't come and say, and actually with the help of CIA. They didn't say that, but there were many other things. Gulen, who had been living in self-imposed exile in the United States since 1999, rejected the accusations and condemned the attempt coup. Yeah, because it was not you. It was the Central Intelligence. No. Sorry, let's move on. Reuters, Gulen, the powerful cleric accused of orchestrating a Turkish coup, dies. All of a sudden, these guys write about powerful clerics with no problem. But when the powerful clerics are our clerics, that's excellent. When the powerful clerics, let's say in Iran, are not our clerics, they're all evil. Remember, when you tell these guys about an Islamic cleric, they were conditioned to think, oh my God, Khomeini right now, right there, he's right here. And these guys, when talk about this guy, he's just a powerful cleric. Why? Because he's our boy. And again, justice for all or not? You can't just be just selectively. My dad commits this crime, nothing. Your dad commits the same crime, the law right here. That's the way it is. Am I supposed to support this? If I'm unjust, yes. But if I'm just, or I pretend I'm just, I pretend in the way of trying to be, to create a more better union, right? The pursuit of happiness. It doesn't mean that you are there. Next one. Let's see what Lavrov says about, and this coincides because it's obvious with what I said. I don't have I have two, but I have only one crystal ball. I have two crystal balls. I look into them, fondle them, touch them, clink them, or clonk them. And here it is. This guy, I think, confirms that West conflict with Russia remains hybrid, but morphing into direct war, Lavrov said. Yes, I think so. The evidence is there. These guys want long-range missile strikes in deep inside Russia with Ukrainian drones manufactured. These guys, I think, not only train the Ukrainians, but also from the very beginning, the West was involved in organizing this operation. We're in control. The Ukrainians were just the finger on the trigger. That's all. And even the weapon was not Ukrainian. Sometimes it was, but then all these guys were right here, thousands of miles away. And I guarantee you there were some troops over there and still are operating on the territory of Ukraine, just training the troops like this unarmed. And you believe that? A lot of work you have to do, my friends. So I think it's a hybrid war, and it's going on. Why? It's going to go even worse because of now Koreans are going to fight for the Russians. Therefore, we should do the same thing, right? Baltic states, right? Poland, right? Romania, get ready. You're going to be used. You're going to be used and fucking abused by these guys. You're next. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you. They build the case right now. Oh, that means if these guys send, then you can send, right? But is it true? Is it true that those are going to fight over there? Well, they're making the case. You're not going to listen to Russia Today and Sputnik because these guys banned it. So you're going to hear what? Scarborough and those baboons over there telling you Stephanopoulos and Joy Reid and... Anyway, Russia Today. Let's see. Another thing that I think it's true. Russia Today, BRICS can counter Western sanctions. Media CEO. Nokululeko Patricia Mantula has underscored the group's growing appeal to countries seeking to escape reliance on external systems. Exactly. I think that's 100% accurate. It's like protection in a neighborhood. The guy comes from protection, money, you give him the protection, I'm not going to deal with you, you're going to be my boy, you do whatever you want in your business. But once someone else comes, another gang, and says, now you're going to pay me protection, hey, that's my territory right here. All right? But the same thing. So these guys say, okay, let's pick up. These guys are already proven that these guys are a plantation. The other ones so far didn't. It doesn't mean they can't turn into, but so far they're not. So the alternative is these guys kicked us in the teeth so many times so far. So what am I supposed to do? Maybe get protection. Oh, you're here? Did you wake up, boy? Meow Meow woke up. All right. So obviously you try now to go somewhere where you hope that you are not going to be kicked in the teeth. And say, let's see how Israel gives the U.S. conditions to end the Lebanon war. What Meow Meow? So let's start with this. This is mild. The first article, the title is mild. The other one is real. Sputnik. Israel lays out conditions for ending aggression against Lebanon in paper handed to U.S. Why do you hand it to U.S.? U.S. is just another country out of 193 countries on this planet. Why do you give it to U.S.? I told you why. Because the U.S. is used to keep everybody at gunpoint not to do while these guys are robbing the bank. Unfortunately, it's not robbing a bank, it's with a lot of casualties. And those casualties will create another resistance. But that's the way it was. So let's see the other one, which is more to the point. Israel gives the U.S. its demands for ending war in Lebanon, Axios reports. This is Reuters. They are not exposing the Israelis. No. They give you in this title, Reuters wants to convey to you Israel's power, that it can give the U.S. its demands. It gives it. It doesn't ask for it. So this title is supposed to instill in you a kind of admiration for this, the Jewish state, who can give the baboon U.S. its demands, instead of United States giving Israel its demands to shut the fuck up. That tells you, where are you going? With his tail. Before he walked away with the tail, hit the whole shit. I held it, but he had to hit the camera, mother. Anyway, so you understand what that title is? That's, I think, what it is. Then in all this article, I read it already, is no denunciation of this kind of, this is mine. And why do you give it to the United States of America? It's no special country in the United Nations. It's with the Security Council. But it's not the only one. It doesn't have a special status alone. Among others, he has in the United Nations. But that's it. Why didn't they give it to China? I don't know, to Russia. That's part of the Security Council, United Nations. You know. And when we, the American people, the citizenry, gonna be hit, unfortunately, as a resultant of that, these baboons are gonna come in front of the TV, the media operatives, and they're gonna claim, why did they hate us? Why did they hit us? Why did they attack us? Why did they do this horrible attack on us? And they will tell you, they give you the answer like they give you in 2001. Remember the attacks? They hate our freedoms. Really? Let's see the demands, right? Let's read the demands. And they're imbecilic. And a lot of chutzpah. Right here. It says here, Israel has demanded, demand to whom? United Nations. Since when? You put this to the United Nations if you want, not to the United States. Demanded. Look at this weasel wording. Israeli Defense Forces will be allowed to engage in quote-unquote active enforcement. Do you know what it is, active enforcement? That means they're going to go over there with the weapons and they can kill and do whatever. That's active enforcement. To make sure Hezbollah doesn't rearm and rebuild its military infrastructure close to the border. And they will be active, they will enforce this actively. Boom, 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 tanks and airplanes paid by you, some of them. They will do it wherever they will feel like these guys try to rebuild. Now, if these guys, the Hezbollah, are going to be in Romania and they start to rebuild something in Romania, they probably will demand IDF to be allowed to engage in active enforcement in Romania. I guarantee you, the Romanian baboons will say, da, veniți, cum să nu? Yeah, sure, come. Goes without saying. Am I doing right? You're not the boss? Oh, am I doing right? Yeah, you're doing right. That's exactly how it is. All right, and that's the first one. Let's read the other one. Israel also demanded its air force have freedom of operation in Lebanese airspace. That means, I read again, demand its air force warplanes have freedom of operation in Lebanese airspace. That means they can do what the fuck ever they want over another independent country, sovereign country, registered trademark at United Nations as an independent sovereign country. They can do that. They have freedom of operation, do what the fuck ever they want, with drones, with whatever they want. But hey, in self-defense, I guess you can do that. Oh, sometimes? Well, justice again. So these are just, I don't know how many topics were here, 10 out of about 30 that I have. I see if I have air for another video after this one, because I'm exhausted. All right, now I'm like Pavarotti or like Louis Armstrong. Which one I am? Well, we both had a handkerchief. Handkerchief! Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.